You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to the Nerds Podcast as we break down Alien Earth Episode 6, The Fly. I'm Puba, alongside me is Pete, and if you enjoy sci-fi, comics, and other fandom, please like and subscribe to our channel as we chop it up about all these types of shows, movies, and topics. Don't forget to hit the bell to make sure you get the latest conversation and opinions from our channel. The title The Fly is a reference to the movie from the same name from 1986. Stars Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. This iconic horror film tells very similar to what's going on in this episode about scientists who experiments goes horribly wrong when a fly enters the equation, resulting in a terrifying transformation. The same way we see Nibs, we see Slightly, we see Joe, we see Wendy. They're all going through some type of transformation. The Fly, the film, though, explores these themes of metamorphosis and the blurring of boundaries. Beyond the physical changes, it delves into the struggle between scientific progress and the uncontrollable forces of nature as we conflict between human identity and monstrous transformation. And of course, we kind of start off this episode with a baby xenomorph, one of the cutest things I've ever seen. But Pete, what did you think of this kind of xenomorph in this way?
I don't know. It was a little weird in the sense like this is not cute. I don't care how small it is. This is not cute. I don't know if they're trying to, push that, but no, this is not cute at all. This, we've all seen what and look, I know it was small in stature, but it's still ugly. It's still ugly. So yeah, I don't know if I get they were trying to maybe do that. Like, oh my God, look how cute he is. No, man. No, it's ugly.
Listen, I was being sarcastic with it. 100% I was being sarcastic with it. Yes, this is a deadly, purebred killing machine. I agree with you 100%. There is nothing cute about a xenomorph, small or big. It's even scarier when it's in the face grabber. It's scary. It's as scary when it pops out of someone's chest. I agree with you. But I guess you're right. They're trying to get cute with it.
Maybe as a Funko, I don't know. Maybe it's cute then. That's the only time I could think it'd be cute is then.
I actually enjoyed the conversation between Kirsch and Joe. You could tell Joe in his headspace, he's really planning the whole situation of them trying to escape. He basically asked her how long does her battery last. He's talking about, taking her off the island, and he wants to take care of her. Kirsch burst his bubble and said it's like an onion taking care of a store. Did you hear that portion of it? Did you get that part?
I did, yeah. He's seeing that everything is not what it seems to be, and not that what it seems to be, but I guess the way he's playing things out in his head, he's getting dream crushed from the start. It's like, dude, this is not gonna work. So maybe he has this happily ever after ending with him and his sister, but it seems like he's finding it hard to get that plan off the ground because they're kind of raining on his parade as far as what plans he has.
Yeah, listen, I think Joe still sees his sister and he doesn't see what she is because Kirsch said that she was made to invent light speed. I mean, we're talking Star Wars. We're talking about traveling at the speed of light, that she can take in so much information that she can invent light speed. But man, it's just a whole crazy idea. Then we kind of reset, right? We go to Nibs. And when I say reset, I mean really reset because they wiped her memory. Wow. So again, this blurs the lines, kind of similar to The Fly, the movie that I mentioned at the beginning, where we blur the line between technical and emotional, right? I'm a father, proud father. I know so are you. So at the tail end of this, it's as if and I look at it this way. This is just my opinion on it, guys. And I'll say that this is my opinion completely. It's as if sometimes when a kid is having issues, the educational system doesn't adapt to the kid. They will stick to the same system, won't adjust to the kid, and they'd rather kick a kid out versus adjusting to him. And here, Nibs is going through, as a kid, an emotional issue. And they're, instead of just helping her and helping her through this emotional issue as a kid, they'd rather just wipe her memory. What did you think of that situation there?
They don't see them as kids, though. I mean, we do, and they see themselves as kids, but those in charge, the higher ups, they don't see them as kids. So they just see them as a project, as property. So they're not concerned with what they're going through emotionally. And this one, I kind of understood why they were going this route, because she almost got violent with Dame
Sylvia.
Yeah,
Dr. Sylvia, yeah.
Dame Sylvia, she got violent with her. Well, not, she almost did. She got in her face, and she's bugging, talking about that she's pregnant. So I can see why they chose to go that route. I get that. Not that it was cool or it was okay, but I get why they did it, because if this is something that we're working on, this seems to me like if that was me in those shoes, saying, okay, this is a project of mine and it's got a little kind of a glitch. Yeah, I got to fix that glitch, because it's gonna look bad on me that something in my project is going off script.
Now, I agree with you. I think both the doctors, Sylvia and Arthur, who basically created all this stuff for Boy Cavalier, I agree with you that portion of it. I think Boy Cavalier wants to stay them like kids, hence why he continues to read Peter Pan out loud to them, because one, kids are easier to control, and two, manipulate. So in that sense of the nature, I think Boy Cavalier has a different agenda versus the two doctors, Arthur and Sylvia. But Arthur speaks up, got canned. I was shocked and mortified that his wife didn't quit with him. But someone got to pay the bills. So she said, I'm on board. I'm not doing this. Did you want her to back up her husband here?
I don't think it was her throwing him under the bus, or as far as her not backing him up. She probably said yes just to get this dude to shut up and get off their backs. And I'm sure she didn't see that coming, her husband getting fired. But to me, it seemed like maybe it wasn't. It's just like, yeah, I'll do it, just so he can leave and shut up. And they'll maybe they got something else planned, which I think that's what's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I thought that was more what it was like. Not that she threw him under the bus, like I said before. I think it's more like she has another agenda. Let me agree with this guy so he can leave and get out of our face so we can do what we want to do. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, so then right after that, Joe and Wendy are having a conversation. Of course, he's trying to throw little daggers out there, little crumbs to say, hey, what do we get off this island? She tells him, what if I want to stay? I don't want to be here. And then he starts comparing what the xenomorphs are like to humans, right? He starts talking about we can think, we have community, and they're just trying to survive. She goes into and compares them to bees, to the hive in the sense of community. I found that super interesting, but I'm going to jump directly into the meeting with Boy Cavalier and Yotani. They were just throwing out billions of dollars like it was nothing. That was crazy to see that. And I got to say this, and I know we've talked about this in the last episode, but man, Boy Cavalier is annoying me just as much as Joffrey from Game of Thrones. What do you think about that scene at the table?
I was about to say that. I was like, this is a little bit overboard. And I used the same comparison that you did. I'm like, wow, on a show that's not as good as Game of Thrones, he's approaching the level of annoying as Joffrey was. So I mean, if it was as popular as Game of Thrones, maybe more people would hate him, because he's annoying. He really is. Whether it's and I'm sure it's the character, the way it's being written, and he's putting his own spin on, how to portray the character. That's, I guess that's what an actor does. But yeah, he is super annoying. The feet on the table, cutting her off. It was really he was being a 100% jerk.
Listen, I don't know what it is about him and feet that he doesn't wear shoes or anything of nature. I know there's a football player, NFL, that does that. He doesn't wear any shoes. I
Mac
forget his name.
Hollins.
Yes, that's who I went to. So as people now know that if you're not a sports person either, and you're just into this kind of fandom, the football player that Pete just mentioned, yes, he doesn't wear shoes, guys. But I'm tired of his feet. It's gross. It's nasty. Put on some shoes, boy. I'm tired of seeing it as well. I did have an issue with that scene, and I'm trying to understand it when he's talking about the way the ship crashed, and he's talking about how she has to pay for, the people that died and things of that nature. Why did Morrow, who knows that Boy Cavalier was behind this, why doesn't he speak up? Why doesn't he say, yo, you did this?
I don't know. I mean, remember, he's working on something else as well. So maybe he's more concerned with what he's working on at the time with one of the synthetics. He seems a little bit distracted. And maybe he wasn't being disrespectful in the sense where it wasn't his place to speak. So again, he still has another agenda because he's trying to get that synthetic to do, his bidding. He needs to sacrifice somebody. So I see him. I didn't think about that, but maybe now that you bring it up, maybe he's a little preoccupied with what he's working on the side.
Well, let's stay on the subject for Morrow. And one of the best scenes of the whole episode was the elevator scene with Kirsch and Morrow. I loved it, right? So we're talking about, while I think they're on the same agenda, like Kirsch is looking forward to having that whole face grabber xenomorph pop out of the chest because he's just curious. And Morrow, who is a cyborg, Kirsch is synthetic. He's talking about how he loves to cut up synthetics because they don't feel nothing. Reversal, Kirsch is saying that, hey, I love it when they're in pain and your eyes are popping out. I mean, this goes back to one of my favorite elevator scenes, which is, of course, Captain America in the elevator with the agents from what's the name of the Hydra? With the Hydra agents in the elevator. Well, that was action. This was all verbal. Did you enjoy that scene as much as I did?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really pain is part of the enjoyment. And then he called Kirsch an old toy. I love it. But let's get back to this, right? Joe, at this point in time, is now hanging out with the security team. He's actually dropping little things. He's asking questions. And the female security guard, forgive me, I don't know her name at the top of my head right now, but she's like, yo, shut up. We're making money. At least I know where the monsters are. Siberian, thank you. What did you think of that scene alone when she was like, yo, shut up, we're good?
Somebody else just raining on his parade. Like, dude, everybody but you is happy here. Like, chill out, because no one's going to help you. People are understanding what he's trying to do, and no one is going to help you. So, good luck, buddy.
Well, someone did help him, and we'll get to that in a second. But, of course, Toodles get the job from Kirsch about going to the lab. Do you think that Kirsch set up Toodles?
No. Somebody asked him to can they go with him, and he said no. He got it. So, and this goes back to what I had said before in a couple episodes ago. Anytime there's some type of situation like this where you shouldn't be playing with things that you don't understand, it always goes bad. And the more the story progresses, people get dumber. So it was like in Scream. Don't say I'll be right back, because you won't be right back. So, hey, you need me to go with you? No, I'll go by myself. Famous last words. Famous last words. And what happened? He got it bad. He got it really bad. So,
man, this goes back of every single movie when it's a group and they go, let's split up. Like, what are you doing? There's power in numbers here. Oh my God. I think Kirsch set him up. I think Kirsch broke that door so that he could actually do what he did. I think that door breaking off, there's no way that this facility on Neverland is what it is. And of all the things to be messed up, a door on hinges.
But
Come on.
but aren't they enhanced?
No, they are enhanced, but of all the doors, the one that actually eats synthetics, I don't know. I'm still out there thinking that Kirsch is
I'm
on the
not saying
same
you're, I'm
boat
not
as
saying you're
Morley.
wrong. I'm not
No,
saying
no,
you're
no, no.
wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong either. Man, the greatest thing about this is that we're having a conversation and the opinions are different. And I'm curious to know what the fans of this show are going to say. Please comment below because I'm curious of what you're thinking Kirsch's agenda is. But again, let's continue the story because I've actually been enjoying the last 2 episodes of this show more than I have on previous episodes. But I think episode 3, where they go back into the ship, still so far is my favorite episode of this. But again, Wendy is now talking to the doc because when she was approaching Nibs and questioning Nibs, Nibs is like, "You're crazy. What are you talking about? Nothing. I'm good. Why are you making this up?" I mean, she's combing her hair. She doesn't know any different, of course, because they wiped her memory. She was pissed. She was upset. And she approaches the doctor about it. And one of the things that stands out in the conversation between her and Dr. Sylvia, and she says, "What if you are what's wrong? And it's not us." Do you think Wendy at this point is now going to lean towards Joe, lean towards against Neverland? Because she knows that they wiped her memory.
Well, maybe the more she finds out, she'll lean that way. But it's still she's still, I mean, trying to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, it sucks because she's talking to somebody who was there and she doesn't remember a thing. So she's looking at her like she's crazy, and she's like, I know I'm not because I still have my memory, so I know something's up. And she figured it out, and she approached the doctor about it.
Yeah, listen, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out in the sense of the future. But her husband, Arthur, of course, is packing up. Joe comes in. And I got to say that I think between Joe and Arthur, they're probably the most human of all the people that are on this show to show as much human side of things as everyone else is like either a slave to Boy Cavalier or they're synthetic and they're not real. Do you agree or do you disagree with that?
Yeah, they're probably the most, yeah, out of everybody. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and look, Joe already had to get a lung separate, and we'll get into a second about what's going to happen to Arthur. But very cool. He knew the camera was on him, started typing up where the boat was, and he turned off Wendy's tracker. So even if they got off the island, they can't track Wendy back.
That was
I
that
thought
was
that
cool.
was pretty cool as well, right? I want to get into the lab here for a second. The Theophilus. This sheep is creepy as hell, but he is a menace to anybody that's working in the lab. Now, what I saw in this one, I want to say this. I stand corrected, Pete. You are absolutely right. This Theophilus is a pain in the butt, and he definitely distracted in the Maginot, the ship that everything started. You were right. I'm going to stand corrected. I will stand corrected at 100% time. That boy disrupts.
Well, that's what you said. Oh, he was trying to warn her. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, I thought he was trying to warn her. I thought he liked the scientist. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He used his head, bumped the glass. Guys, Toodles looks over. Boom. And done. Did you think that, did you find it funny that he continues doing this?
No, I didn't find it funny at all. I was just like, oh, he's done because now the door's open and he's kind of struggling. And I didn't find it funny at all. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen to this dude because obviously we know something's going to happen. So yeah, I didn't find it funny at all. I don't find that sheep funny at all. It's creepy, like you said, but it fits right in with the show.
Yeah, and then this fly thing spits out an asset, just like the Xenomorph. The Xenomorph kind of gets excited during this scene. I'm not sure if you've seen it. He's like playing up real
Yeah.
close,
Yep.
which is funny to me because the Xenomorph doesn't see. Everything is by hearing. So I'm curious how the Xenomorph is kind of figuring all this out. But of course, this fly sucks on this milky synthetic blood. Again, a little bit of gorish there, but I think that's crazy. Outside slightly is there because he's kind of looking and freaking out, and then he tries to go to Joe's room to get him. Again, I'm going back a little bit, but thank God for those guys. They actually saved Joe because he was trying to set up Joe pretty bad.
Yeah.
But here we go. Then the final scene is in the lab. Toodles unfortunately gets caught by the flies because I think Kirsch set him up. We'll find out later about that, I guess, things of that nature. The fly gets out. Slightly must, of course, opened up that door for the Xenomorph egg. And, man, what do you think will happen to Arthur, man?
It sucks. I mean, before he wasn't the target; it was Joe, but it just worked in Slightly's favor that he got somebody there. He didn't at this point. Didn't matter who it was, and yeah, it sucked. It sucked that he's the one who was who got thrown into the fire.
Yeah, he even leaned on his whole family thing. I guess he kind of knew the history behind Slightly, and he said, "I have a family too." And man, I felt bad for Arthur, man. Like he was on his way out. Like you didn't have to do this.
Yeah,
but the same thing kind of happened. Yeah, fired. But think about it. Remember, Joe had put in his 2 weeks notice to kind of get out early. Then he gets caught into saving the people for Prodigy. And same thing now happens to Arthur. Like if you can get out as soon as possible, because if you get into something else, you're not gonna make it on this show at all. Of course, we get Slightly goes into the vent to kind of hide a little bit because he knows at this point in time he's completing his portion of this in a sense. So he might have saved his family. Kirsch sees everything happening. Cavalier Boy, who thinks he's Peter Pan, is in the ship and asks Kirsch, "Is everything okay?" He says affirmative. So Kirsch has his own agenda at this point. Are we in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, I've enjoyed this show over the last 3 episodes. Pete, I gotta ask you, because again, I know that this is not your genre in a sense, but we have to dive into these things because it's all fandom at this point. What do you think of the show as its whole right now?
But it's not a question of genre, or it's just if it's a good show, it's a good show. You know what I mean? It doesn't, whether it's horror, whatever. If it's a good show, it's a good show. This show to me is average. There's a lot of talking, too much talking for me. Seems like eternal foreplay. Like when are we getting to the freaking? You understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't. I mean, look, I know it's a season, and you have to have a build up. We have episode 7 and then episode 8. So I'm hoping all of this in these 6 episodes is building up to something better in 7 and 8. But to me, it just seems like a lot of talking, some gross and some gory scenes throughout these 6 episodes. But again, it's okay to me. This doesn't move the needle for me. This is not a rewatch for me.
I have to agree with you. I'll say that this is not a rewatch, but it does make me want to watch some of the Alien movies, maybe to understand the lore a little bit more. And I'll say this, Pete, to agree with you on a certain point. My favorite Alien movie is Aliens. And the reason behind it is that you had the Marines, you had the alien, you had the sensor when you were like boop, boop to see where they're at. Action, you're at the edge of your seat. I agree with you there. The most action one was probably the best. Going back to what I said on the Maginot, that's by far the best episode of the season. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, you can't. To look at it this way is this is a series based off the Aliens franchise, and there's a lot of talking. It just, for me, it doesn't add up. It's maybe like, it seems to me like, okay, let's have a spinoff of Fast and the Furious, but let's make it about swimming. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I
think
think
they're
it should
just
be
trying to.
more. It hasn't gotten there yet. Maybe again hasn't gotten there yet, but we'll see. But so far, it's average to me.
You know, I think they're trying to expand the Alien universe,
Yeah, I
and
get it.
that's what they're trying to do. Where you're losing the bedrock of what you are in its entirety. So that I can take it there. But I want to hear what the fans think. I want to hear what the people think about the show. Please comment below. Again, thank you so much for the support. If you do like this type of conversation, please like, subscribe, share. I'm all open to have that conversation. Pete, let's get on this ship and let's get out of here.
We will return.
The worst episode ever.